Hello, and welcome to what I've been playing and collecting for January of 2026. I was gonna wait until I beat 3 games, but I'm still playing the same 2 games, close to finishing one of them, and about halfway through the other. I'd say it's about the halfway mark because there's 2 endings. So, where to start? I'll start the games I've been playing. So I am 3 crystals in to chapter 5 of Bravely Default HD Remastered on Switch 2. And that means I got 1 crystal left, and I got a few job classes left. Let me think. Let's see here. I gotta do the Swordmaster, the Vampire, the Templar. Is that it? That might be the only ones I got left. Oh, the Dark Knight, but that always comes last. That's part of the storyline. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's all that's left. Yes, I'm like, no, on Eternia there was not a lot of job. Oh no, Victor and Victoria. Forget about them. The Spirit Master and Arcanist. Oh my. They're a 2-in-1 battle. I kind of forgot about them. They're in the same building as Templar. I'm not 100% sure about doing the vampire one. Last time I struggled with it, so I might skip that. It's optional anyways. Especially if I have to do the dragons again, because just now, I'm not doing those stones again. I don't see the point in it. It's not necessary for the in order to get the either of the endings. So I might just completely skip that because I'm like, no, I have the job class already unlocked, so I don't know if I'll face him again. He has a move that I basically call cheating. It's oh man, it's a weird spelling of gravity that basically means that it attacks the whole party. Um, it takes 75% of your health every time. So literally, you have to spend every turn making sure you're healed up. Because he'll follow that move up with Bone Crush, which does damage equal to your missing HP. So if you're missing like 4,000 HP, it does 4,000 damage to you. So it's like, you're not very nice. Obviously, there is ways to countervent that. You could basically make sure that you have 2 Templars and have them take turns casting Rampart. Or you could use there's a night move, I forget what it's called, that you could use instead. You take damage instead of them that turn. So you block the attack. It's an option. It helps you buy time to heal, essentially, but it doesn't necessarily make it any easier. And you end up basically having to use somebody to block attacks and somebody to heal every single turn. And only 2 people can actually attack. And it's like, okay, whatever. My favorite thing is to cast Rampart. I'm like, I can cast Rampart, and then I can cast Spirit Ward, and then the next time Agnes gets around, she can cast, because I have her using it. Oh man, Spirit Ward is the one, and then what's the other one? It's greater or something, but like they prevent status effects and it prevents elemental attacks. And Rampart prevents any physical attack. So basically, you got your bases covered. It's like, okay, your status elements, your magic attacks, and your physical attacks. Block! And it's annoying because then you're like, okay, well, they're wasting their turns casting this stuff because she can't stop casting it and he can't stop casting that. So then that just leaves the other two. And then somebody will get hurt, so that leaves just one person attacking while one person heals and two people cast things to protect you from being attacked. It's. It is mind numbing. It is the slowest battle there is. So I'm just like, yeah, no, I can just hard pass on that battle. Of course, the easiest way, from what I understand, he won't cast the gravity move if somebody's low on HP. The easiest move would be to have somebody constantly protecting that one person and keep the HP perfect for the other three. And then you only got two people doing stuff at that point. Because Agnes has a move that she can cast that only protects one person as a Spirit Master. And then, like I said, the Knight has a move that can protect. And then there's Rampart, obviously, that can protect. So it's like, okay, you have the Knights switching out, or you can have Rampart switching out, and you got Agnes casting her thing. And her thing only needs renewed every 4 turns. So essentially, you could just basically put that in place on that one person. Make sure they're wearing a reflect ring because screw getting magic cast on them. Yeah, that would take care of half the problem. But it's still like annoying, basically. It is one of the longest battles you get in the game, and since it's optional, I'm like, I don't know that I want to fight him again. It took me 6 tries before I finally managed to just space out the healing and the protecting with the attacking to be able to take him out. And I was just like, I do not like you, sir. I was so done with this nonsense. So, just, yeah. The hard pass on that one. But outside of that, yeah. So I just got the handful of battles left. I know fighting Victor and Victoria is kind of a pain, but it's not nearly as bad as the vampire, so I'm like, yeah, no, I can take them out. I've kind of figured out a method of battling that makes it relatively easy. 2 people protecting, 2 people attacking. We're fine. The other ones are not that bad. Like, they make the Templar seem like he's going to be a bad battle, but the moves he uses basically makes it easy to beat him. Especially once you've beat him once. When he revives, he kind of goes on the defensive. And as long as he keeps staying on the defensive, because you keep smacking him with hard-hitting attacks, it pretty much, the battle fights itself at that point. The Dark Knight battle's a little hard towards the end because he does have a move that allows him to inflict damage equal to the damage that he's already took. But as long as you keep reviving between turns, he can't keep up. That's about what I had to do. I just was like, alright, just at least make sure one person's attacking and then have our magic users keep making sure that everybody's alive. And eventually he'll go down because he's close to death. And that seemed to work. It was just kind of a case of outmatching him at that point. Just doing more damage than he was doing. Which is kind of stupid, but it works. That's all that matters. But yeah, so I'm closest to being done with Chapter 5. I call this the half point in the game because Chapter 6, you get a key to unlock the blue chests finally, which is annoying. You have to wait so long in the game to get the stupid key, which means revisiting every single location. So some of them have boss fights and stuff, and that's fine. Others, though, it's like, I don't have a reason to go here. But fine, whatever. And some of the areas, well, I say some of the areas, really it's just the tower that's a pain. The map is a headache, like figuring out which staircase to take to get to that chest. Figuring out which staircase to take just to get to the crystal is a pain. So that's going to be a headache of its own sort. And that's kind of part of why I say, like, towards the end, kind of a little bit longer because that tower's just aggravating. And just to keep from having to redo a bunch of stuff, because seriously, at this point, Chapter 5 and Chapter 6, you're redoing everything you already done did. The same boss fights, the same crystals. There's a reason, and the storyline really threw me off. I was not expecting where it's going, because it's one of those things where you are slowly, I guess, figuring out the truth, and it's confusing, because it's like, okay, wait a minute. Well, I thought this, but that's not necessarily true. It could be a lie. There's no proof that it's true. What we do know for certain is not enough information to go off of. It doesn't really tell us anything. It's like, okay, so that means I should not do it or do it. I don't know. That's literally the point I'm at. I'm like, I don't know what it's implying, and I'm gonna have to wait for the story to tell me essentially at this point, because it's like, okay, well, they tell you doing this leads to this, so maybe I shouldn't be doing this. But at the same time, the other option isn't necessarily a good answer either, because there's documents saying that that's a bad thing to do. So it's like, okay, so I can't not do anything. But the two options I'm given here are both considered bad, so which do I do? And that's also what determines the ending. So I'm waiting until the end of Chapter 6, the last crystal. I'm going to save before that fight, and because you have to fight a boss before you touch the crystal or whatever, in case you're praying to the crystal. And that's the point where I'm going to divide between the two endings. I'm going to go for the normal ending first. They call it the normal ending. I call it the bad ending. It's the ending where you're like, I know full well the game is hinting at you doing this, but you clearly are not supposed to do it. The game is wanting you to catch on that it's not what you're supposed to do, that you're supposed to continue doing what you already had planned on doing. And it's like, okay, you got me. Yeah, fair enough. I'm not sure exactly what happens at that point. I do know that there are 2 more places, but I don't know if they are unlocked in the Chapter 7 of the normal ending. I know one of them is. One of them has to be, in order to get to the ending, because obvious is obvious. I think the second one, though, is only unlocked in the Chapter 7 where you go for the Bravely Default ending, which that's the silliest name for the true ending. I think it's just to reference the name of the game at that point. I'm not really sure what you do at that point. I'm thinking you have to do all the shit again. I'm hoping not. I do know that one of the areas you can't access it until the sage tells you how to access it. I did catch on to that much because it is heavily implied in a document that you find and by the text that is being put into the D journal by Bringabel or Alternus or both. You get books from both of them, and then the books are combined. So, I don't know. I don't know who wrote what. That's the point I'm at. Since the 2 notebooks are together, I'm not sure who wrote what. I do believe that most of the notes are Ringabel, though. I think that the ones from Alternus are just the journal he dropped that gets added to the D journal. Pretty sure the rest is just ring a bell writing in there what you find and read by going to like the optional stuff. There is optional spots you can stop at and interact, and it gives you more information, and that includes doing the side quests. Getting the vampire job class informs you of extra information before the sage tells you it, and it's like, okay, I have an idea of what's going on, but I don't know why. That's kind of like the weird thing. It's like, okay, well, you're saying if I do this, it's going to cause this to happen, but that's not what happened. Instead, this weirdness happened that has no explanation for it. And I have a feeling it's going to happen again based on what I'm understanding of what's going on in the game. And I'm like, oh my goodness. I don't know what's going to happen at the end of the chapter, the next chapter. I know it's going to happen at the end of this chapter at this point. It's going to repeat me to the beginning again just to mess with me again. But I'm thinking that they're going to pick up some information that they didn't have before. Or at least I'm hoping they do. I don't really know. It's not really explained. But yeah, I was like, okay, I'm going to save before I do the fourth crystal in chapter 6, because that's absolutely the last time that you can access the normal ending and branch it off of the, because if you don't, then you go for the, at that point, if you don't do the action to get the normal ending, you're locked into going towards the true ending. It's basically at that point, choose an ending, that's what you're doing. I just basically don't want to have to keep redoing stuff at that point. And it's better to go ahead and get all the fighting and stuff done so I can go ahead and get the best equipment I can get, go ahead and get all the treasure chests, and just, have it all done. That way, whenever I finish the normal ending, I can take the special item. I don't know what it is. I literally looked at a spoiler-free thing on purpose that just tells you, get the normal ending, get the special item. It'll make things easier. Then you can go for the true ending. And I'm like, okay. And it basically hits it at, like, the more you do beforehand, the less you have to repeat doing again. And I'm like, alright, so it's kind of implying that you have to do Chapter 5 and Chapter 6, regardless which ending you go for. So I'm like, alright, I get it, kind of. Not really, but yeah, whatever. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do it that way. I'm not going to give any, like, specifics, because I feel like if you're playing the game and you know, and if you're not, it's better that you don't know, because it would be a spoiler to tell you the specifics. Just know that when you're playing the game, it's completely spelled out to you what you need to do to get the different ending. And it's like, oh gosh, I know what's going on here. Okay. But that's the only thing I know that's going on. The rest I'm completely in the dark about. Another game I've been playing, obviously, is Pokemon Legends ZA. I've been playing that on stream, uploading it out on YouTube after the fact. We got rank B. We took care of the Megas. So, logically, it means the next step is rank A. Would I resume it? and do whatever it was I was supposed to be doing. You know what? I don't remember. I completely just blank. I don't remember. My mind's been focused on, like, a million things. That was not important. It was not important. So, we'll be doing that next time. I think at that point, like, I believe they'll have me aiming towards. They'll go ahead and initiate whatever it is. It's gonna have me aim towards rank A, and as long as the storyline to figure out who I'm fighting isn't too long, I'll probably have time to do whatever side quests pop up before it's time to battle for the challenger ticket. But I don't know, because I'm not really sure who they're going to have me fight, as bizarre as that is. And I'm not really sure what they're going to have me do about the tower and the mega power that's not been exactly spelled out either. So we'll see. I don't know. It's been implied that AZ's aware of what needs done or aware of why it's happening, and I'm guessing yeah, my character's going to be filled in here very shortly. That's what I've got out of it. So I don't know. I'd say one or two more streams maybe. I want to say one stream, but it'll probably be two because I have a feeling that it's gonna be like a little bit of a like go out of your way and fight this here, and then you can do this type situation like they did with rank B. They're like, oh no, you got to do this, and then you can do this, which is silly, honestly. But I'm fine with that. I think my Pokemon can use a few levels before they do the final battle, just to make sure that they're ready. I mean, they're doing okay, but sometimes these tougher challengers are a little bit harder against some of my Pokemon. It helps that I've stopped trying to just rely on just one Pokemon and go, no, I should go ahead and I got these other Pokemon on my team for a reason. I should just go ahead and do it. All right. So that's it for the games I've been playing. Those are it. I have not been letting myself not play one or the other. Basically, if I'm not playing those, I'm doing something else. Specifically, I've been working on the One Piece Lego ship thing. It's almost done. I'll go ahead and show it. So like at this point it's almost done. It mainly just needs its like main sails and like I think one thing goes down into like the whole area maybe. I don't know. Cuz there's like you can like see the you can still see inside of it. I'm pretty sure something goes back there. Outside of that, it's pretty much done. I get most of the characters put together. There's only like one character left. So, and I know like the helm has to go up front. And then, like I said, I know exactly where there's like a separate sheet that was like not in the bags. It was in the box. That is clearly the sails that need to go on it. But I've been following the instruction booklet like step by step because I'm like I don't want to mess this up. All right. Speaking of things I put together, there's one I can't show because I am deathly afraid to move it. But it's part of this series. They're called remix things, and it's basically a jigsaw puzzle that becomes like this thing that you could put on your wall, or you could stand it up. I have it standing up. I have its Shadow running, and it has like fire shooting out of the back of his heel. It's pretty cool. You could probably just look it up if you look up the Jixels remix. This will be like the first one that pops up would be Sonic Ring. But under it is the other Sonic and the Shadow. I had to search a little bit harder to find the Kirby one. I've decided not to put these ones together yet because I don't have a shelf spot to put them yet. But the moment that I figure out a spot on my shelf to put them, I'm going to put them together. I just got to figure out what I'm going to do shelf space-wise. I'm thinking my best bet will be to finish. I have like a stack of coloring books on a shelf. My best bet will be to get those off the shelf. They're not any ones I want to keep. To either finish them or put them where my other coloring books are on the floor at. I don't know. Right now, I don't want to like add them over there because I still need to like finish going through my closet. But right now, I'm not allowed to. As I visited the doctor, and the doctor doesn't want me lifting anything over 5 pounds for 3 months. So I might just move those over there, like a little at a time, and just have the space. I'm a little nervous to move stuff there, though, because I just recently got the... Let me look what it's exactly called. It's called the Xbox ROG Ally Handheld PC Gaming. Whatever. It's basically so I can play PC games on a handheld system. There's not... You can't play all of them on it. But you can play a fair amount. Like Coromon, works with it. I'm trying to remember. I think Disgaea PC worked with it. And then there's some games that I have through the Xbox Game Pass that came with on there. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember off the top of my head, but there's like a specific collection of them that work with that specifically, and I like the fact it does that because it's more likely that I'll play them that way. Because I really don't like playing games on my PC because it like hurts my hand to hold it like this on the keyboard. I don't know why. My hand can't do the keyboard thing. It does the controller thing just fine, which is weird. I can type like crazy. Play a game on the keyboard, suddenly my hand's like, I don't know what to do. So, I've looked at gaming keyboards, that ones are like designed to like be like the size of a mouse that you can like customize to your computer to be what you need it to be, but they don't look comfortable to me. It might just be me that is crazy, and I mean it's true. It's very true and possible. But I just I was like I'll do that for all the games that can be played using controller settings. And then the ones that can't be played with controller settings, I'll eventually get to on the PC. But I think the main ones I want to play can be played that way. Because from what I can tell, the visual novels can be played that way. They might occasionally require like a little tapping on the screen to get it to work with me. But outside of getting it set up, for the most part, it should work. And then like the Disgaea game can play that way. And I think I got 1 and 2 on PC. I'm pretty sure those are the only ones I have on PC. For that series. What else was there? It's Koromon. I wanted to play that. I can't remember. Anyway, it was something I wanted to do. Everything over there that I'm not showing on the screen. I got like a case you could open up and put Game Boy Advance games in it, and it like lays them out nice and neatly. And I got a stand-up thing where you could just stand up your Game Boy games. I didn't really have a thing to store them in that was proper. I also had to get a new thing for my DS games because I started increasing what ones I have. I'm not showing them because I don't have a case, but I got Codename Steam for 3DS. It was one of the games I, for some reason, skipped over. I don't really know why I skipped over it. It looks totally the kind of thing I would play. I like really strange RPGs like that. And which Pokemon was it? Heart Gold, I think. Good luck. Yep, Heart Gold. Pokemon Heart Gold was the one of the odd ones out I didn't have. Like I have Silver, and I was like, you know what, I should get Heart Gold. Just kind of like how I have Moon, and I'm waiting on it. It'll be in next month's thing, Ultra Sun. I figure, get if I have one, I should get the opposite in its counterpart thing. I hope that makes sense. Makes sense to me. Let's put it that way. Anyways, the other thing I got that's not actually a game. I got the Final Fantasy 14 Chronicles of Light 2. I already have one, so I went ahead and got two because I've been needing to get that. I saw it had came out, and I was like, oh, I forgot that they were thinking about making a sequel. I should get it. So I got it. uh, oh yeah, there is one more thing that's not actually a game. I keep forgetting. So I believe it said 10th anniversary. Is what this particular one was made for Hatsune Miku, but this is the Snow Miku, little bunny on her head, little bunny. I absolutely love it. It's so cute. I got it through Crunchyroll. I had a coupon, and I was like, you know what? That particular one was on sale at the time, and I had a coupon that gave me an extra discount on top of my sale price. Plus, I have Ultimate Fan as my thing to watch anime. I should watch more anime than I do. But yeah, so I think my dad uses it way more than I do. He watches so much anime, and I'm like, I have no idea what you're watching. Leave me alone. All right, so now on to the games I got. I don't know. There's one, two, two new ones. All right, there's two games that are actually new. So I got Tomb Raider 1, 2, 3 remastered. I've been thinking about getting it, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and get it because I know I'll play these games. I'll eventually get the other collection. I got this. I technically have this game on was it Xbox One. I'm trying to remember. I think it's Xbox One, but I didn't have the DLC, so I was like, you know what? This complete edition. This has the DLC. I don't have to like buy all the DLC separately because there is Hearts of Stone expansion pack, Blood and Wine expansion pack, and 16 other DLCs. Like, I just buy this. Sorry, I'm lazy. I'd rather just get something that has all the stuff on it. And just move on with my life. All right, this was new. This showed up. I've been trying to get hold of NIS America through their website. I was thinking I might just have to tweet at them. There's a code in here for the soundtrack, but for whatever reason, my code is not working on their website, and I don't know why. It's so frustrating. Anyways, so I did get this. I have all the games up to date, basically. I need to actually play them on my to-do list. It's just so many good games, so little time. And then this was the other new game I got. It came with a pack of the trading card game, the Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy trading card game cards. I sound so smart. So this has the episode intermission with it, where you play as Yuffie, or get Yuffie or whatever. Yeah, the story starring Yuffie. Yeah. So I got that. For some reason I had gotten it on the PS5, but my code never worked. So I traded it in and gave up on it and just kept my PS4 Steelbook edition copy of the original game that didn't have Yuffie, and I bought this instead. Now I have the Yuffie episode, so, whatever. So, yeah. That's why I went ahead and did that. Technically, I think I gotta, download it onto the system to play it, but I don't care. So, this is a visual novel I got. Since Memories of the Starry Sky. I don't remember. It just tells you boy meets girl, a theme that transcends time. Build and nurture your relationship with the women in Junior's life as he works to restore the Hojo Manor and uncover the truth of what happened to his brother. I'm kind of curious, what happened to his brother. It doesn't really. No details are shared, I guess, to keep it secret. So it's something I want to play and see what happens. Because obviously there's potentially romance in this. I'm guessing. But there's also a mystery involved, and I like that concept. I finally started getting these games. I've been wanting to get them. I'm just a lazy person. So this one, the Origins edition of Prelude to the Fallen, it has inside the soundtrack CD and whatever this book is, Archives of Yama-Yura or whatever. I don't know. So, from what I understand, these games are RPGs with visual novel elements. That's what I've took it to mean. That's my understanding of it. Anyways, I guess the book is a art book, essentially. Yeah, so that was kind of cool. And then I got this one. This is not technically the next one in the series, the Mask of Truth. The next one's the other game. Herp-de-doop. Straight up tells you on the back of this a thrilling conclusion. And it says prepare for the final chapter. So I was like, Okay. So, yeah, nothing inside of this case. This case came in a box. This game came in a box that included a pillowcase, and I put it on my pillow and put it on my bed. I got a pillow for it specifically. Because I was like, you know what? Yeah, that's cool. It's cute. It has like a girl on each side. One has like circle themed jewelry, and the other one has, was it triangle themed jewelry? Let's see, and then I got this. I've been meaning to get this. I just put stuff off. So there's 3 games in 1, Ratchet and Clank. Um, I got this just for giggles, basically. Lord of the Rings, Aragorn's Quest. I was like, I don't have a lot of PlayStation Move compatible games, and I don't know, it looks fun, honestly. There's still a piece of plastic on this. How did I manage that? Anyway, um, Record of Agarist War 2. Number one's on its way. I got number one for Switch. It's on its way. This also says it's PlayStation Move compatible, which is confusing. Because I'm like, what could I need the Move for? Because it's mainly like reading a story while occasionally doing battles. That's the majority of these of this series. Like, you're mainly just reading a story while doing random battles occasionally. So, I don't know. And then because I already have the other X Blaze game, I was like, I should get the first game in the series, X Blaze Lost Memories. So, so I think that, no, actually no, the other one's the first game in the series. This is a sequel. I know staff. And basically, I got both the X Blaze games now. I already have the other one for Vita, I think. I don't remember. It might be PC. I can't remember. I got X Blaze Code Embryo on something. And then now I got X Blaze Lost Memories. So now I got both the games, regardless what order they're in. This might be the sequel now I'm thinking about it. So there's like puzzle solving stuff and collectibles and stuff in it, but then it's also just like a huge visual novel. And I mainly want it for the visual novel stuff. I'm mainly interested in the story. I'm probably gonna follow a guide for the puzzles because I'm like, I don't care. I just want to get the collectibles and get the puzzles solved, and then do the story. That's my interest in that particular game series. I'm like, I want the visual novels. I love visual novel stories. So, of course, I had to get it. So yeah, that was it, which is actually like a lot more than I was planning to get. I'm trying to quit buying so many games, but I'm not very good at it. You'll see next month what I mean, cause I have bad habits. Um, but so that was it for January. Hopefully next month actually have games that I've finished to talk about. I'll actually be able to tell a full review of the games and not just a. To this point, I'm enjoying them. They have their. Nah. Like, if I was gonna give them a rank, people do those tier lists. Like, there's S plus S, A, B, C, D, trash. I would say, like, Pokemon is, like, between A and B for me right now. I gotta see the ending before I decide. The ending is gonna determine if it's A or B for the Pokemon Legends ZA. Like, has all these stupid mega battles been worth it to see this ending? And Bravely Default Remastered is a B. It's a solid B. It's one of those, like, I enjoy the story. The story has me hooked. I can't wait to see what happens. I'm curious to see what happens because I'm not 100% sure I understand what's going to happen. Like, I know what's going to happen with the normal ending. That one's so obvious it's not even funny. But I don't know what's going to happen with the true ending. That one's got me confused. So I'm like, where are we going, game? What what are you going to have happen? Why is this going on? What is going on? What's going to happen? I don't know. We'll find out. But yeah, so I'm totally curious to see where that goes. But there definitely are parts that are just kind of like, what? Like, I get the idea of rebuilding Narinde, that it takes way too long. You have to either leave your system on overnight and just keep going back to it throughout the day and hitting the thing, or just remember to turn your game system back on the next day and log and switch out the things are building constantly until it's all done. It takes way too long. Like, to get all the buildings maxed out in order to have all of the best items and equipment available. Like, some of the stuff, even with like 36 builders, I had one point I put 36 builders on something. It still said it was going to take 36 hours for that particular building to finish. I was like, what? So, I mean, I got them started and I had to like set an alarm to let me know when I could finally make them do the next task. Because otherwise I'd totally forget. That was stupid. That was my opinion on it. I felt it was stupid. Like I shouldn't have to like keep track of something for over a day. Um and then like only some of the battles seem unfair. So there's a battle that you're not really supposed to win. You're just supposed to wait it out. It doesn't tell you that. There's a there's the I complained about the vampire battle. Like, you obviously want to get the job class, but he has a move that you can't block against. And the only way to get him to not use that move is to be injured, which makes his other two moves be able to kill you, essentially. So it's like, well, I can't win for losing, essentially. And that doesn't seem very fair. And then you gotta waste so much time. It's like, I don't want to spend 20 minutes on this battle when all the other battles can be solved within 5. That's the only battle that can't be solved quickly. It's like, okay, because that makes sense, which it doesn't. It really doesn't. It's like, I don't know. It's just to be kind of like annoyed by it, basically. It's not terrible, since it is technically optional, but it's one of those things where you're like, well, I want to do it though. Might as well. I don't know. Plus, you want to know at that point you've already looked at the story in each of these pictures, so you want to know the story behind the last picture, and you gotta beat them to get it. It's like, don't black storyline behind some battle that's ridiculous. Is at that point, that was the only reason I wanted to beat him. I was like, well, I gotta know the story now. Like, well, I'll just keep trying to figure this out. There's gotta be a way to beat this guy. So, like, I'm sure there are strategies that make the battling him even easier. I've seen it mentioned a whole team of ninjas can make beating him a joke, but at the same time, it's like I shouldn't have to learn a specific job class for all my teammates and use a specific move every other turn or whatever. It's like, yeah, that's stupid. So that's my issue with it, though. It doesn't really, like I said, it's nothing huge. It's just enough for me to be like, yeah, so this is a game I'm not playing again after I finish it. Am I getting my worth out of it? Oh yeah, like at this point, I've put in 56 and a half hours into the game. Like, just in this run, because there was 2 other runs I tried, and I hit roadblocks trying to figure out how to do the battles good If that makes sense for like the main story. And I was having issues with that. I finally got a grasp on the battling. I got used to the job system. I got used to the battles. I got all like the good equipment and stuff, and have people like in specific roles for the battles so that the battles go smoothly. But it's just like, all right, yeah, that was a steep learning curve that I could do without. It made Octopath Traveler look easy. Let's put it that way. Of course, that one actually has. I have found guides on how to win battles in Octopath Traveler. The guides for Bravely Default is like, well, this might work, but just kind of save and throw yourself at it until you figure it out with some trial and error. I'm like, I don't want to do that. It's like I am playing on easy and it's still hard. That's not fair and that's not nice. That's basically my take on it. I'm like, I'm playing on the easy setting and it's still hard. That that's not cool. At least Octopath Traveler's excuse is it don't have those settings. Well, it might by now. I don't know. I haven't played it in a while because I was like, oh, this is a long game. All right. So yeah, that's that's the reason I'm like, it would be a B. It's a good game. It could be better if the easy mode actually was easy, or if like if there was like a way to like figure out a good battle strategy that wasn't so complicated. I just feel that there's times that it's unnecessarily hard because there's a lot of characters or bosses or whatever that don't have a weakness, and it's like, what? And there's certain bosses that have like a trick to them. That's what I'm gonna call it. Like this eyeball thing. It has a trick to it. You have to know you only can attack it during certain whatevers. What is it called? Chogmar or something? Like, the first time you battle it, how are you supposed to know that you can't do damage when it has this shield up? And how are you supposed to know when the shield's gonna go down? I still don't know. I just know that the moment the shield goes down, it's like, everybody attack! I don't care what you're doing. I don't care if you're on the brink of death. You'll die and he'll put his shield up and then I'll revive you. For now, just everybody attack. That was like the point I was at. I think one of my characters was actually dead whenever I finished the battle, and I was like, oh well. I'll just revive you once we're done with the scene. It wasn't the first time, by the way. It was the second time I defeated that particular boss. The first time I defeated that boss, nobody died. But it was confusing because I didn't realize that it had a shield thingy. Because it doesn't tell you. It says transform. It doesn't say shield. Like, transform? Transform what? It's like, alright, cool. Thanks, game, for not telling me anything. So, it's just, I don't know. There's just things like that that are just not nice. That makes the game lose some points. It's like, is it worth playing through? For the story, sure. Is it something that I would recommend everybody play? No. No. If you want to see the story, it might be just perfectly fine to watch a playthrough of it. Instead of playing through it, if you don't want to do something that's kind of challenging. Now, if you want a challenging RPG that even on easy mode makes you kind of go, okay, let me strategize this. Let me think this one through. Okay, if I use this move, then I maybe should follow it with that one. If you want that, Bravely Default has that in spades. If you just want to play a game and see the story, that is not the game. I love the story. I love the art. I love the music. The difficult battles could just go away. Like, is at that point, like, there's certain enemies even, like, just regular enemies that can counterattack you. And I'm like, why? Like, I realized that and was like, you know what? No. Early on, I'm going to gain as many levels as I'm going to need for the rest of the game. Early on, with enemies that don't beat the snot out of me. And then I don't have to fight as many of the enemies that are mean. That's what it came down to. So I was like, some of these enemies are difficult despite not even being a boss. I don't want to have to strategize just regular normal encounters. No, thank you. I'd rather just kind of move on. I guess I prefer like I prefer games like Dragon Quest where it's like you would just smack the enemy and keep going. Like I don't want to have to think about it. Now bosses, sure, give me a little. You could throw a little bit of strategy in it. Not the vampire level though. That was ridiculous. Like I would say like similar maybe to like the fight against the Templar. Like he's a fair challenge. Um, that fight against the pirate guy is a fair enough challenge. Figuring that out. A real good challenge is the thought process that's involved for fighting Holly and Barris. Like at the beginning of the game, like they straight up are like, "Hey, so you have a healer person and a non-healer person. What are you gonna do?" It's like I'll obviously take the healer out first. Like I like that kind of strategy. I don't want it to be like over convoluted where I'm like, okay, wait a second, this person casts this thing. Well, only these two people can prevent. Well, there's not a way to undo that. And then you just kind of like end up like losing your mind trying to figure it out. You're like, but I need this, but I can't do that. But if I have this, I can't do that. And you're just like slowly descending into madness. It's like I'd rather things be simple. So it's just it's its own level of frustration sometimes. It's like I am playing on easy, but it does not feel easy. I seriously, I think I spent like was 3 hours fighting just that vampire guy. It was not nice. Um, see, Victor and Victoria are probably the main storyline. They took like I think like 15 minutes or something the first time around. Um, but honestly, I didn't know what I was doing when it came to fighting them. I was kind of going into it blind. But yeah, they were a bit of a challenge. They were more challenging than I expected them to be. I did kind of fix my party setup after that though, so I don't think they're as big a challenge anymore. Like I've noticed a lot of these fights that like were a little challenging the first time, like the pirate. The second time around, I just smacked the snot out of them and moved on. I was like, oh, somebody gave me a 10-minute fight, just gave me a 3-minute fight with their stronger counterpart. I think I didn't have the best strategy first time around. So, like, that is something I have to keep in mind somewhat, but I know that wasn't the case with the vampire because, like, I went through like 4 different setups before I finally found one that worked. So, I mean, that was just that's just kind of my issue with the game because the game clearly implies you need to have all the asterisks, but at the same time makes it so hard to get them that you're like, I don't know that I want to anymore. It just feels like the game's picking on me. All right. So that aside, yeah, they're good games I'm playing. Um, I might change my mind slightly once I get to the ending. I don't know. We'll find out next time, obviously. Until then, thank you so much for watching, and bye bye.